So it's about time I make this video. Um, I became the manager of a tea shop in April 2024, and now it's November 2025, so about a year and a half. In that time, I've tripled the revenue of the business. I've grown it. I've changed the star rating from 4.1 to 4.7 on Google, and from 4.1 to 4.5 on Yelp. We used to have a B in the restaurant. Now we have an A. Our Uber, our online platforms used to be way lower rated. Tons and tons of people come to the store. We're at very high capacity. And all of that was done while decreasing the cost percentage of inventory, decreasing substantially the labor percent cost. Like, we barely have any more hours now, even though our revenue, we're 3 times as busy, more than 3 times as busy. So yeah, I just wanted to make a video. Now is the time. People have been asking me to document my journey, but to be honest, that journey was so kind of intensive. I didn't have the extra energy to document it alongside. But now is a good, I've been wanting to make this video for a long time, so I'm going to talk about my journey, how I flipped a business, that was completely desolate, not making any money. A lot of the products were inconsistent, just not a good business, into one that's thriving, and my journey in doing that. People ask me sometimes if there's one thing you can tell me about business, what's the secret? What's the secret? Well, I'll tell you this, the secret is just to gain the experience. You got to go through those lessons. There's maybe 1,000 different things I learned through business, and each one builds upon the other. You become robust when you gain that. It's like lifting weights. It's like you can't ask someone what's the secret to lifting weights. You just got to do it a bunch. Sure, there's strategies that are more effective and less effective, but in the end of the day, if you do the work, you'll get stronger, right? And it's the same with building a business. You, as the owner, the manager, as the person running the business, you get the experience. If you draw for 10 years, you're going to be better at drawing. If you run a business for 10 years, you're going to be better at running a business. So if you want to start running a business, or if you're already running one and you need to do better, my advice is to look for all of the flaws in the business. That is the way I shifted it, from knowing absolutely nothing, not knowing how to, it's a boba shop. So from not knowing how to create, teas, to specialty teas, to boba, nothing like that. Just identifying the next thing that needs to be done. And then you learn it, and you split it up into individual segments like that. And that's a whole journey. It really is one step at a time, where some steps are big, long, wide steps, and other steps are pleasant, short steps. But in the end of the day, you deal with one problem at a time, or 10 problems at a time. But you deal with each problem individually as the day goes, and you acquire a skill set. My business philosophy was to gain as much information as I can, and to outsource and delegate as little as possible when it was good for me, and then to learn to delegate and to learn to outsource when that would not benefit me and thus would not benefit the business. And the result of that is, well, first of all, we saved a ton of money in not having to hire service technicians or hire graphic designers, stuff like that. Of course, there's a time for that, and now we're more at that point. But when you're learning to run a business, you want to be able to fix the small problems that you don't need to outsource. That's the way I did it. So anyways, there's so much to this. There's no way I'll have everything in this video, but I just wanted to get it out there. So you want to start a cafe, it's tough. If you have the responsibility of a business, there is no wussing out, there is no whimpering out, there is no it's not fair. You got to deal with the situation, whatever situation's handed to you, or you face the consequences. Meaning, let's say one of your employees steals or quits or something like that, you're going to have to cover for that. If you mismanage an equipment, there is no just higher up. You say, oh wow, let's call the service technician. Let's buy a new equipment. No, you pay for your mistakes. If you fucked up a piece of equipment, you have to fix it, or you pay it out of your own pocket. Very expensive, or you have to spend hours looking on Facebook Marketplace or these other websites, Restaurant Liquidator or so whatever, to make it work. You're gonna have to break apart the machine, go on service calls, call the company, unless you want to pay someone $500, $1,000 that comes out of your pocket. So you take responsibility for every little thing of the business. And the nature of business works, in my experience, is, I don't know, the way the universe works is it gives you levels of difficulty. Like, the universe almost breaks you, but it doesn't quite break you. It gets you to the point where it's like, damn, this is a lot I have to do right now, but you can get through it. That's been my experience with business. It gets you to that breaking point where it's like, damn, this went wrong, that went wrong, we're low on money here, we're getting sued here, just it builds up, but you can handle it. That's my belief with how these things work, if you're meant to do it. Anyways, so now that's kind of the overview of running it. What specific things did we do to triple business? Like, let's talk about it. So yeah, first of all is that mentality, that philosophy. You are the leader of the team. As the business owner, the business manager, if you're in that position, everything is on you. So any standard you want to set, you have to embody. Meaning, if you tell your employees not to do something, you're telling yourself not to do it, because if you don't do it, they won't respect you. That's like a level of integrity you have to hold with yourself. You got to act the way you want your employees to act, which many ways mentoring your employees causes you to grow, because you see from the outside, it's easier to say, hey, don't do that. Then you realize, oh shit, I do this XYZ times. Then you have to level up too, along with them. So a lot of the times when you talk to your employees and you're like, hey, let's change this up, you're gonna grow along with it. So what did we do? Let's get it from the ground up. First of all, when you enter, this is the baseline. When you enter your establishment, if you're in hospitality, look around. What's the feeling? Is it dirty everywhere? Clean that shit up. You clean it up. You got to know how to clean. You got to know how to organize, or else you won't be able to lead a team to clean. You gotta know where the dirty spots are. It takes time to have awareness and a vision. Oh, there might be a spider web in that corner you never notice, because in your life you just leave your clothes on the floor and you never pick them up. I'm not saying you do that. I'm just saying that any negligence you have in your life will come up in the cleaning, and you won't be able to even see the areas that need to be improved unless you're in it yourself. So first steps first, cultivate an inviting place, the most inviting you can make it. If you have a low budget and you're not given very much, it's a hole in the wall, that's okay. You can still find ways to affordably make it nice. You can always have team members that are more aware and more, they can take the lead on that, and you can even ask them to if you have a team member that is better than you at cleaning, or is better than you at organizing or making a space look nice and vibrant and inviting, you can have them take the lead on it, and you can support them. That's your job as an owner, to use whatever tools you have necessary to get the job done. It doesn't have to be you. So you need to identify that. If someone has an inspiration, or someone has a very high level of integrity for cleanliness, let them be the leaders of that initiative, including let them lead you. Ask them, hey, what can I do? So yeah, that first steps first, you got to have a good environment, and you've got to maintain that. I'm going to talk about the boba shop. So hospitality, nicely swept, tables wiped down clean, chairs in. It's just a manner of, if it's well managed, you teach your employees to always have that sight. You have your employees have that high level of integrity. Your employees are an extension of you, so you have a level of integrity. Anything they're not doing, you have to communicate that. And in my experience, the best employees are the ones that are the most open, receptive to you, that share, that when you tell them something, they'll implement it. Those are the best employees I've found, more so than maybe people that are necessarily really good at one thing or another. The ones that are very open and adaptable, obviously they come with their own set of strengths. Aside from that, everyone does. But that is one of the qualities I found work is very important, where everyone is a cohesive unit. No one is taking advantage of the business for their own gains. They're in there to learn, they're in there to work, and they're in there to be part of a team. Just like you're in a soccer team to be part of a team to win. So you want that in your team. You want to win. You want to, in winning, in the case of business, is making money, where, ideally when you make money, everyone shares the wins too. That's part of it. So yeah, first step, cleanliness. When I first got into the boba shop, completely dirty from head to toe from previous ownership. We spent a lot of time just, cleaning things that haven't been cleaned in years, literally years, throwing away stuff, throwing away anything you don't need. In any struggling establishment, it's easy, there's some places that are dirty and are successful, but this is the first, easiest, most obvious thing you can do. This has nothing to do with cutting costs. This has nothing to do with, some weird stuff. If you just walk in, it's the most obvious thing. So start with that. Start with creating a nice space. In a nice space, everyone will be happier, employees will work better, you'll work better, you'll think better. So make a nice space. So we made a nice space, and we continued to grow on that. We continued to add to the space. And that's one thing we did. What else? So we start with that. Let's talk about the ingredients. So every menu item should be something inside and out. Meaning every ingredient in every item has a whole history behind it. It has, a chef. You know how a juggler juggles balls so effortlessly? And he can do it. It just understands the physics and the dynamics intuitively of juggling. Well, you can get that same way with each and every ingredient. You can understand the ingredients. I'll give you guys an example. So we work with different types of tea. There's an essence to a jasmine tea, for instance. Jasmine tea is very delicate, very floral, and that's an energy to the tea, right? So what I mean by that is green tea requires not boiling water. If you boil it, it'll burn. It'll taste bitter, and it won't taste good. So you gotta have not boiling water, 180 degrees, or add ice to boiling water, so it's at that level. Also, jasmine tea, very delicate. You can taste the delicacy in the flavor. Other teas, if you're not as accurate with the water quantity and with the brewing length, it won't matter as much. But with jasmine tea, you gotta brew it for exactly 5 to 7 minutes in our case, for our jasmine tea, right? 5 minutes. We've tinkered a lot with the recipe. You want to understand each and every ingredient, and you'll get that experience just through working with it and through really trying to focus and learn and absorb that ingredient every time you use it. It'll come with time. You'll get taste test, always taste test everything. You get a lot more in tune with all of your ingredients when you taste test. That's very important. That won't necessarily lead you to making new recipes. New recipes can come from many different sources. Someone's fun experimenting. Customers ask for a unique combination. One of your items isn't at the level or at the standard you like. Maybe due to reviews. Maybe due to your own discernment of flavor. So, when you have that, you just work on the items. You get to know similar ingredients in that same vicinity. For instance, for us, we use a lot of sugar, condensed milk, honey, fruits. So you just get to know all of these ingredients you work with, and oftentimes you can combine them because you know them well. For instance, we have a cheesecake baker. He bakes cheesecakes for us, and he knows cream cheese very, very well. He's very good with cheese. So, you just gain a mastery over your ingredients. So be scrutinous with all of your recipes. Taste taste test them until you're very, very proud of each recipe. And as you work with them, you'll gain intuitive understanding of each one, and that comes with taste testing, a lot of taste testing, and a lot of cooking. That's why being on the front lines is very important for any one of your businesses. You won't understand the business inside out unless you're there doing the thing, talking to the customers, brewing the teas, cooking the food, all of that. You need to be doing that. And you'll notice things visually too. For instance, we have chicken. I don't eat the chicken very often, but trying different things. One time we put it in and we don't toss it in the fryer. Another time we put it in, we toss it. You can see when we toss it in the middle, it's more evenly coated. You really get acquainted. The smell of the food. Sometimes, milks can go bad before the expiration date, God forbid, right? But you get just seeing the texture of the food. You don't even need to taste it. You get acquainted with the colors of the teas. If the tea's too diluted, you see it, and you get very, very, very fine-tuned. The more you work with these, you get, this is a slightly different color than it should be. I should quality control there. So the more you work with the ingredients. Now, why am I talking so much about the ingredients? That's what we sell. This is the core part of your business. You gotta have so much pride and integrity in what you sell. So communicating that, you see how passionate I am. I'm teaching you how to grow a business, right? What does ingredient testing have to do? Well, if you gotta cultivate that passion for your product. I don't even drink caffeine. I can't drink caffeine due to health concerns. I don't drink sugar. I don't like sugary drinks. Our drinks give me a headache a lot of the time if I would drink a full one. I barely drink, but I taste test all the time, and I'm very passionate about having a really good tasting product that our customers love. And because I have that, I have the vision to identify when our staff does not hold the highest integrity, and I'm able to intervene and let them know, hey, let's try this differently. And I have a very good reason for why every single time. When we overbrew the tea, it tastes bitter because of this, because I know the ingredients. When we blend the smoothie with this liquid quantity or ratio to this solid ratio, it has this flavor, this texture to it. So you got to just really, really, really devote yourself to learning those ingredients as a business owner, and learning your recipes and understanding the base of all of it. If you cook chicken, understand how chicken works. Really, really understand chicken, versus low heat, medium heat, high heat. That's something I don't know, right? But you gotta understand, and you will, just through repetition. As long as your objective is quality, and as long as you're listening to that internal voice inside of you. That internal voice is the key guide to everything you have. It'll tell you which problems need to be fixed first. It'll guide you. You always want to solve the most relevant, most important problem first. Meaning, as I said, like if your shop just looks like shit, forget about the recipes. First, make your shop presentable, right? So someone doesn't walk into that. Then the next important thing, probably I intuitively started talking about the recipes, because that's what you sell, right? If you're hospitality, you sell food. Then the third thing is service, right? First environment, second food, third service. I don't know if this is the hierarchy I'd normally grade it, but this is in ease of fixing. Fix your appearance first. That's easy. Then ingredients are very, very important. But what a foodie I respect that told me one time is people won't come back, won't really remember a place that has amazing food and terrible service, but they will remember a place that has okay food and amazing service. People come back for the service. So just take that with a grain of salt, if you will, but service is the next very, 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 very important thing. This is what service band-aids every other problem you have. If all of your restaurant is shit, if all of your business is shit, but all you have is good service, employees that like working there, employees that enjoy greeting your customers, employees that want to make people's day, employees that want to give good service, aren't, resentful, are grateful for their work, are grateful for the customers, want to do a good job, put themselves out there, always pushing themselves on the envelope, it's gonna band-aid every single other problem. Good service is just an easy fix. People, how mad can you be if something kind of, the food isn't that great, but you apologize profusely, you give them a refund, you give them something else on the house, how mad is someone going to be if, they say they don't like their tea, but they were greeted really amicably, and when they say they don't like it, you offer, a replacement or a discount or a free tea the next time, even if your teas are mediocre, but you're greeted warm and friendly and the environment's nice and you can see the employees really care and they put care in the food and they put care in the drinks, even if, they mess up here or there and it's not the perfect drink, you feel well taken care of, you feel cared for. You're not going to leave less than a 3-star, probably not less than a 4-star, if you even leave any negative review at all. Good service, people, it's remembering people's names, remembering people's orders. You can light someone's day up. You can make someone's day. You can make someone, having a really crummy day to feeling noticed, feeling appreciated. This is one of the most important things in life. Just that shift. It's not about the food. It's not about the drink. That's just the excuse we have to say hello to each other and to do good things for each other. We want to take really good care of our customers, and we do that through, making our ingredients the best, lowering wait times, making sure they're tended to, always greeting them with a warm hello, noticing if they're preoccupied, saying, hey, it'll just be a moment, or hey, would you like anything? Always noticing and not ignoring the way our customers feel. Our customers are our loyal customers. They're beautiful people. They're coming to you for business. They're supporting your livelihood, your business. This is amazing. This is incredible. I don't know how I can express more gratitude to our customers. They literally let us exist. It's so good. It's so good. They're such good customers, our customers. They'll bring friends over. They'll hand out boba for free on the college campus for us just because they love us so much. So grateful. Anything I can do for our customers. You want to have that mentality. Something that helps. If you have this mentality, asking for reviews, that's how they can show their appreciation back. That's important. Ideally, you get reviews without, encouraging them, but it's a very important part of building your business. People don't know. Oftentimes people want to help, they just don't know how to, and it just takes very short amount of their time. And if you ask for an honest review, you're just helping them spread the word and helping other people, helping them know other people will come to a good spot, right? You want to share good things. If there's a bad product and a good product, you'd be doing the world a service to have people publish it, right? That sounds kind of arrogant, but the point is that you really gotta think of, it's good if you're good to your employees, you're good to your customers. It's good that you're putting yourself out there. They're supporting a good thing. So ask for reviews. Great service, ask for reviews. There's tricks and tips to asking for reviews. You see many places offering, hey, if you leave a review, you get a free this. That doesn't really work if it's passive. You gotta find something, first of all, people want in your target audience. You just got to find something that's very relevant to them that they will appreciate. We found a very, very, very fitting something we give them for a review that cost us very little and is actually a huge value add to them. And on top of that, we ask for it with enthusiasm, and it's very fitting. It doesn't feel intrusive. It's so yeah, that's important. Now, talking about reviews, online platforms, you want to find a way to keep your really beautiful packaging, put as much love into that as possible. I won't go into details again, but just think of, you can write cards for them. You can write on the bags, just as much good customer service in there as possible. Make your online platform as nice to read, as easy to read as possible. Make the delivery process the best as possible. Leave the food hot or keep the food refrigerated for as long as possible. Write nice messages on the bags. Make cards for them. Go the extra mile for your customer. They will notice. And the same thing, even if there's something wrong, with the food or it's not as good, they won't leave a bad review because they can see you care and you're spreading the positive message. And if they do leave a review, that every ounce of effort will help. Your effort in making people's day better, as I said, is a band-aid to everything else, which is a double-edged sword. It's great, but you also want people to be real with you because all the other things do genuinely matter as well. Everything makes a big difference. So you got your cleanliness, you got your recipes and ingredients, and I'll talk a little more about that. And then you got your customer service. How do you inspire good customer service? You do it yourself. You make your employees feel really good, and you do it yourself. That's the way I would say it. And you mentor your employees when you see they are not confident enough, they're too shy, they're in a bad mood. But generally, if you have a good environment, that environment will rub off on your customers. If your employees are happy working there, they will automatically have good customer service. If they feel well appreciated, well treated, they'll be having a good time and they'll want to work. If they want to work, that's a really good sign. Yeah, if it's fun to work, you're going to have a good time. Now, alongside having integrity, alongside, because they can have fun, but just be doing whatever they want to, right? But it's about inspiring that wholesomeness through your team. And again, a lot of this is top down. So if you have that energy, if you have that care for both your team and the customers, they'll follow through. The team, yeah. Cool, that's customer service. Let's talk about ingredient sourcing. That wasn't too important. We did look for the best deals, for the best quality. Some things we did have to make a sacrifice on. If it were me, I would, organic everything, But in reality, it's about what your customer wants. Some things I wasn't proud of keeping on the menu, but our customers really liked it, and so the customer wins. Again, a business is just a practice of honoring your customers. That's literally all it is. All you're doing as a business is saying, we're here to serve you. What do you want? We're here to please you. What do you want? You're learning them better and better, and you're doing everything in your power to set yourself aside, set your ego aside, just make them happy. Make your team happy, make your customers happy, and you'll be happy, right? It's very fulfilling to have a loyal team and a loyal customer base. You don't need more than that. You can be inspired and do one thing one way or the other. Like, for instance, we have a strawberry matcha drink. I was really inspired to mash fresh strawberries in there, have that fresh strawberry chunks, and also our guests liked it. So your inspiration goes hand in hand with serving your customers a lot of the time. But in the end of the day, it's about them. If they didn't like it, doesn't matter if I wanted to have the fresh strawberries, it's out, right? Cool. So serving customers, number one. Ingredients, so ingredients, you want to find a bunch of different vendors. Amazon Fresh is great. We use Restaurant Depot. They're not ideal because you got to go there yourself, and their prices are not the best. You just got to research a bunch of different vendors. Sometimes supermarkets, Trader Joe's is even the cheapest. Always be on the lookout. You can always just spend, a couple minutes a week just with a new vendor inspiration. Check out other cafes. Check out other restaurants, see what types of things they're buying. We check the brands I check the brands of so many different cafes. They mainly use Khalifa oat milk, Khalifa milk, but they're very expensive. And we use Oatly, and I love Oatly, and they're much cheaper, and also great flavor. So, you gotta find what works for you, what makes sense. If something costs double, but your customers don't really care about the quality, is it worth it? No. But if they do care about the quality, it could very well be worth it. So yeah, you just got to do what makes sense. Some changes, for instance, if we were making double or triple the revenue we do now, we could probably afford to up the quality on all of our ingredients another fold. But at where we're at now, you just got to do what makes sense, and you're always humbled by the reality of the situation. First comes first is you need to survive, right? I said your customers come first, but they don't even get served if you don't survive. So you got to make decisions that are intelligent, not just sporadic decisions. Cool. Yeah, so reach outs. Look for opportunities always. Uh, Contact your city. I worked with the Chamber of Commerce a tiny bit, the Santa Monica Business Development, small business development teams, buy local, Santa Monica Police Department, the mayor. That was something, those were groups I was passionate about, so we brought them all over to our shop. A lot of these groups did a lot for us, A lot of these groups didn't do anything for us, and they promised to do a lot. So you guys get a lot of people that, oh, we'll help small businesses, da da da, and you guys get a lot of people that actually do. It's worth going through all of them, weeding out the riffraff, and no one's gonna save you, but you got to learn your ecosystem and your environment. There's people that'll say, "Oh yeah, we'll work with you." It's hard to get people to attend to events. It's hard to get people to work with you, but it's also easy to get the right people to work with you. For instance, we have our bakery. It was so easy to get them on board. Took very little effort. For other people, you can message them a few times. It's just not right. So my advice is to have a wide, shoot wide. Contact a lot of people. Contact your city, get involved with your city, get involved with any communities, clubs nearby you have. Get involved with everyone. Again, this is about serving your community. Get involved with everyone you can. And I mean it. Email them, call them. You might be intimidated to do it, but you got to do it. You got to attend clubs, walk the neighborhood, see what's going on, be involved, offer free drinks to people, offer free drinks to neighboring businesses, offer free food to neighboring businesses. We've done that. You got to do this stuff. You got to do this stuff if you want to grow as fast as we've grown. And I'm not even saying we're near the peak of where we could be, right? We could do this a lot more, but this stuff needs to happen. Constant. Proliferation, growth, outreach. You got to do this. You got to do it. So, yeah, utilize all of your resources. Get email lists. Learn a CRM system. Just learn all the skills you need to get your name and word out there, and don't just rely on organic traffic from Google. Actually put yourself out there when you're proud of what you sell. So there's that. I realized I started giving advice instead of just saying my story, so this will be more of like a general advice video without too many specifics. And maybe in the future, I'll talk more about my story and specific tips you can implement for each of these individual areas. But yeah. Anyways, so yeah, mentoring the team, the way I view a team is really supporting your team and the ways they need it in a professional lens, encouraging your team, noticing when someone's down, having a talk with them, giving your team your time, being there for them. It's very important. The more you can lift people up, the more of a strong team you'll have. True leadership is not through force or fear. They choose to follow you. And the only way you can cultivate that sort of loyalty is by being good to your team. And it's their choice. There's no way you can force it on them, which is why not every person is the right fit. You got to find people that appreciate your leadership, your work, and want to do the same. Want to contribute their own efforts in the same way, in some way. So that's hiring is a whole process. You got to find, the thing is, when you start hiring, you have a bunch of blind spots. What's actually important to the business? So like you think, oh, it's A, B, and C. Maybe they need to be friendly and they need to be smart and they need to, but maybe they just don't have the work ethic or the physical capacity or the loyalty or maybe they just don't fit in the culture. There's so many small little just pitfalls you don't notice within a person, and you gain that experience through hiring, where everyone's specific company has different requirements. So yeah, I mean, honestly, the best I've seen in people are when people are in a semi-desperate situation, semi-bad situation, and we're there to help lift them up, but they still want to work very much, and they're still very open and humble in that way. They're eager to work, and we need to invest our time into lifting them up, and then they become phenomenal, loyal employees. That happened with me personally, coming in this company. This company lifted me up quite a bit. So that's not me speaking out of like, oh, I was part of that, right? This company gave me so much opportunity to step into ownership and management, and taught me so many skills. And in return, I gave like 70-hour weeks for months, for free. I've made a lot of sacrifices for this business because of my loyalty and because of my gratitude towards the opportunity to grow and to learn. It was really, really supportive and good for me. Our employees have followed suit in the same way. We've been really, really good to them, and in turn, they want to contribute back to the company, which is beautiful. So yeah, there's no easy way around it. If you want to inspire a team like that, you're personally going to have to make sacrifices. You can't just say, oh, someone else make it for me. No, the top of the organization needs to do that. It's very important. So everyone follows suit. If you're a leader, that means you're the one. You're the man. That means you're the one that charges in head first, all of those things. Very important. Yeah, and so like with collaborations with different organizations, as I mentioned, Yelp, school clubs, sports clubs, government, putting posters, different Instagram campaigns, different Facebook campaign. No Facebook yet. We still got to do that. Through changing up our recipes, constantly tinkering, seeing what's trending, learning what other cafes are doing, constantly visiting them, fixing our own equipment, learning every single part of the business inside out, from even fixing the AC in the fridge ourselves, getting rid of anything we don't need, serving our customers, just building our customer base, each and every single customer. You don't know how much intention went into each and every single one of our customers. Every single negative review we reflected on, changed our operating procedures, and it showed. We just stopped getting negative reviews because all the reasons for negative reviews were X'd off. Like literally when we get a reason, it's a big blow to all of us. We're like, oh no, a 1-star, right? Or a 2, 3-star even. And then we realize why, and then we're like, hey guys, we better bucker on up, and we fix it, and then we never get that reason again, or if we do, we fix it again and again until it's solved. And so that's a really, really good feedback loop for us. And I mean, they say in sales, like, if someone has like 10 objections and you just know how to answer every single objection, there's no reason for them to say no. So they'll just say yes, right? So it's the same here. Like if your customers have no reason to dislike you, well, they'll just keep coming, right? They won't have a reason to not come if you're the best spot. And how do you learn about all of those reasons? This cafe's matcha is better than this one. This cafe is better than... Okay, so learn from it. Some of it is valid. Some of it is just a different preference, and you got to let it slide. But really, as I said, listening to your customers, training your team, not sweeping anything under the rug. That's probably the most important thing. As I said in the start, listening to that voice will guide you. That voice inside of your head that says the next problem, the next stage of growth you need to undergo. As your business grows, you will grow. Your business is often a direct reflection of you and your team, I guess. But the more you grow, the more your business will grow. The better you are with your vendors, the more they'll let you get away with things, the more freebies they'll give. The better you are with your customers, with your employees, the harder they'll work, the better job they'll do, the more accurate they'll be, the happier they'll be. And then the happier your customers are, the more they'll leave reviews, the more they'll call other people over, the more they'll be understanding if you do mess up, which you will mess up because stuff always happens. People get sick, you get rushes, people have to go on vacation, people get injured. Just like stuff is always happening. There's a national disaster. One time someone got shot in the school and the school was closed for the whole week. It was a ghost town for that week. Another time there was the Los Angeles Palisades fires, So it's like just stuff happens, stuff just happens all the time. There's citywide laws being made. There's this, there's that. So stuff always changes, stuff always happens to change things up. And as long as you're on your feet and you treat your team really well and they treat the customers really well and you treat your customers really well and you keep on being diligent, calling out anything you notice within yourself, learning how to manage better, learning how to communicate better, learning how to convey information better to your team, learning how to be more hospitable, learning and the ideas will just come from everyone. You don't need to have all the ideas. You can just trust that as you hire people, the people that love your business, your customers will come to you with ideas. You're not alone in it. It's so fun. Everyone wants to have their ideas out in a business. Oh, I have this idea. Will you do it? Everyone has ideas. It's your job to discern which are good and to act upon them. And fulfilling the wishes of your team and your customers, you'll have a great place, a great environment. People will be impressed. People will be proud of it. They'll bring their friends. They'll write good reviews for you. They can feel the love and the energy and the intention you put into the space, and they'll want to support that. People like supporting that. People like supporting good things. So yeah, that's how we tripled it. All those small little things add up. Being honest with your team, kicking anyone out of your team that doesn't fit, hiring correctly, noticing the leaks, the waste of cups, the waste of this, the waste of that, being organized with your finances, being on time, holding people accountable, and most of all, loving the process. That's probably the hardest one, and to that I have to give a big thanks to my mentor, who time and time again, as difficult situation after difficult situation were difficult on me and made me discouraged, he helped me come out of that. So a lot of gratitude to that. I appreciate your work. I appreciate the fact that you're given the position to grow a business. I appreciate the fact that you're given the position to serve your customers, that you have the power to do whatever you want with your business. It's a very special role to play, very fun, very engaging, full of life, full of opportunity, full of impact. You impact so many people. So yeah, when times get hard, that's the burden you have to pay. You got to stick in when times get hard. You can't give up. You got to stay bright within that. You got to choose the right thing, or else it'll bite you in the butt. Every single thing you do as a manager or owner that wasn't good will bite you in the butt. So good luck. You'll do wrong things. You'll learn. That's all good. That's part of the process. And that's implementing all of those things is how we grew. Is there anything else? Not really. That's what running a business is like. Yeah. Yep. All right. Sean, over and out. I hope that was helpful. Looking forward to the future. You have some great plans. So, if this helped, let me know in the comment section. And yeah, peace.